at all. He had kept himself fit, had never smoked, and had dressed expensively. But that wasn't enough. That wasn't the picture of a life. It was only a thumbnail sketch. "Are you all right, Alex?" A young woman had come into the room. She was in her late 20s with a sprawl of red hair and a round, boyish face. Jack Starbright was American. She had come to London as a student 7 years ago, rented a room in the house in return for light housework and babysitting duties, and had stayed on to become housekeeper and one of Alex's closest friends. Sometimes he wondered what the Jack was short for. Jackie? Jacqueline? Neither of them suited her, and although he had once asked, she had never said. Alex nodded. "What do you think will happen?" he asked. "What do you mean? To the house? To me? To you?" "I don't know." She shrugged. "I guess Ian will have made a will. He'll have left instructions. Maybe we should look in his office." "Yes, but not today, Alex. Let's take it one step at a time." Ian's office was a room running the full length of the house, high up at the top. It was the only room that was always locked. Alex had only been in there 3 or 4 times, never on his own. When he was younger, he had fantasized that there might be something strange up there, a time machine or a UFO. But it was only an office with a desk, a couple of filing cabinets, shelves full of papers and books. Bank stuff. That's what Ian said. Even so, Alex wanted to go up there now, because it had never been allowed. "The police said he wasn't wearing his seatbelt." Alex turned to look at Jack. She nodded. "Yes, that's what they said." "Doesn't that seem strange to you? You know how careful he was. He always wore his seatbelt. He wouldn't even drive me around the corner without making me put mine on." Jack thought for a moment, then shrugged. "Yeah, it's strange," she said. "But that must have been the way it was. Why would the police have lied?" The day dragged on. Alex hadn't gone to school, even though secretly he had wanted to. He would have preferred to escape back into normal life, the clang of the bell, the crowds of familiar faces, instead of sitting there, trapped inside the house. But he had to be there for the visitors who came throughout the morning and the rest of the afternoon. There were 5 of them. A solicitor, who knew nothing about a will but seemed to have been charged with organising the funeral. A funeral director, who had been recommended by the solicitor. A vicar, tall, elderly, who seemed disappointed that Alex didn't look more upset. A neighbour from across the road. How did she even know anyone had died? And finally, a man from the bank. "All of us at the Royal and General are deeply shocked," he said. He was in his 30s, wearing a polyester suit with a Marks and Spencer tie. He had the sort of face you forgot even while you were looking at it, and had introduced himself as Crawley, from personnel. "But if there's anything we can do—" "What will happen?" Alex asked for the 2nd time that day. "You don't have to worry," Crawley said. "The bank will take care of everything. That's my job. You leave everything to me." The day passed. Alex killed a couple of hours in the evening playing his Nintendo 64, and then felt vaguely guilty when Jack caught him at it. But what else was he to do? Later on, she took him to a Burger King. He was glad to get out of the house, but the 2 of them barely spoke. Alex assumed Jack would have to go back to America. She certainly couldn't stay in London forever, so who would look after him? By law, he was still too young to look after himself. His whole future looked so uncertain that he preferred not to talk about it. He preferred not to talk at all. And then the day of the funeral arrived, and Alex found himself dressed in a dark jacket, preparing to leave in a black car that had come from nowhere, surrounded by people he had never met. Ian Ryder was buried in the Brompton Cemetery on the Fulham Road, just in the shadow of the Chelsea football ground, and Alex knew where he would have preferred to be on that Wednesday afternoon.